So a question that I had, one of many, not really, I'm not that popular. A question I had was, does my osteoarthritis affect my flexibility? Very much so. Flexibility being a subset or category of mobility. So I don't have full range of motion in my knee. The surgeon was mentioning, just because I've had so many surgeries on my left knee, I've had about 9, I believe, that there's actually a lot of scar tissue there. So my knee doesn't actually fully bend, so I can't get my heel to my bum, what you might say, passively. But I don't know if I really want anything in my bum passively, but that's, that's your decision. You do you, boo. So doing like a quad stretch or like a couch stretch where you're kind of grabbing your heel and pulling it back towards your bottom, I can do with a bit of extra force or a bit of extra time to kind of let my muscles relax and stretch a bit more when I'm sitting back into that position. What has also affected my leg given surgeries, I was in a splint the first time doing a cartilage graft for 6 months progressively weight bearing, and then the second time it was actually weight bearing longer, but weight bearing sooner, but I think it was about 3 months. My left hamstring is quite weak, but also I'd say because they're quite flexible. Like I can pull it back further than my right, but it is definitely a lot weaker than my right. Most of the muscles on my left leg, with the exception of my calf, are a lot weaker than my right side. Now, again, if my leg was straight, I'd be doing a lot of pushing through my calf excessively to kind of walk during those recovery phases. So I think I just kind of always favored that. And now when I'm trying to do exercises, especially unilateral ones, my left calf is a lot stronger, but everything else on my right side is a lot stronger. I think for someone who does suffer from conditions like osteoarthritis or has had maybe multiple surgeries or a lot of surgeries, unilateral exercises are extremely beneficial again, and just over time trying to even out the firstly the physical muscular imbalance and then the actual muscular strength differences as well. I definitely know that my left side is obviously catching up to my right. It's still a challenge. I would assume it'd always be a challenge. I am right-legged, so I do favor my right side regardless. But it's just something that's constant work, and unilateral exercises in your program can be quite beneficial for variation as well, but obviously just trying to even out those imbalances. So a couple examples could be doing like a Bulgarian line where with that back leg we actually try not to use. You can just use it passively as a stretch. A single leg squat or piston squat, shrimp squat, however you want to call that, or variation of it you want to use. A single leg press. You could also do like a single leg extension. That's probably one of my favorite ones, just because I'm quite limited in what I can actually do for quad dominated exercises. Single leg deadlift, single leg hamstring curl, single leg hip bridge. These are all the ones that work the more posterior chain of your leg as well, which are really great. So that was a good question. I appreciate someone asking me that. In regards to training, again, with anything, guys, it's just really about the consistency. That's what's going to get you the best bang for your buck. Hopefully more ways than one. So it's just something to kind of be really, really considerate of, and just however you can throughout your week. I know some people are more busy with others, family time, work, etc. However you can kind of put in some type of structured exercise, I think it would be really, really beneficial. And then again, from a consistency aspect, if I can talk properly, nutrition. So that's going to probably give you the best results, especially if you're looking for weight loss or fat loss. Nutrition is really going to be key. So for some people, this is what I kind of do. You're more maybe flexible dieting, so you just count your calories or macronutrients, kind of same essentially. In that aspect, maybe you're someone who likes having meal preps as well. So, ordering online meal services are really, really handy. For some people, it's just doing their own meal prep. So when they're busy and maybe they're kind of craving something, there's already something in the fridge for them to quickly grab and cook. For some people, it's trying to just figure out whatever way they can to eat good food. So maybe if you're going to restaurants which source good food, looking at the menu, pre-looking and be like, okay, hey, this is what I'm going to get, this is what I'm going to get. There are 1,000 ways you can do it. I think essentially, depending on your goal. It's either, you know, being in a calorie surplus, maintenance, or deficit, depending on what your goal is at that time of life. A lot of questions come up about, obviously, how to get a six-pack or how to be lean. So again, it's really just trying to maintain a calorie deficit for a consistent amount of time over a long period of time, especially trying to emphasize lean protein in my opinion, so we can try and maintain as much muscle as we can whilst we're losing weight, and then trying to be consistent with some type of resistance training. So I don't necessarily think you need to do abdominal exercises for a six-pack. It's just about stripping enough fat, and for everybody that's going to be different. So for some people, they might naturally just hold more fat around their stomach, so they might have to diet for longer and more consistently, not necessarily more aggressively, but for longer, for their body weight to slowly change and for that fat to slowly pull over time. Some people, they can see it at a higher body fat percentage. I would say in general, resistance training is also really, really great, especially if you're trying to lose fat as well, because especially if you're new to this, you know, you can quite easily put on muscle whilst losing fat. If you've been doing this for a long time or training for a long time, you may not need to get as to a low body fat percentage or a low weight as you think you would if you already have a decent amount of muscle in your frame, because you might look better sooner. For example, if I'm 80 kilograms and I think, oh hey, I need to get down to 60 kilograms so I look good. If I'm training quite a lot, and again, say we're doing this over a 2-year period, whatever it is, maybe after a year I'm actually at 70 kilograms and I'm like, wow, I actually think I look as good as I thought I would at 60, just because I'm being able to maintain or put on some muscle mass on my frame simultaneously whilst losing weight. And you actually at a higher muscle percent to body fat ratio, and you look good at a heavier weight than what you thought you would have wanted to get to. Again, so nutrition wise, being in a consistent long enough calorie deficit, emphasizing lean protein. From an exercise point of view, trying to be consistent, key word here. And then also realizing that resistance training is going to be very beneficial in any stage of your life, especially if we're trying to lose weight, because we want to try and maintain muscle mass. So we actually might look better at a higher body fat percentage, or we may not need to go as low as we thought we did because we already have a decent amount of muscle mass or are putting some on. Yeah, that's kind of enough crap for me. Went to a great cafe today. If anyone is in the Tokyo area, it was in Harajuku. It was called Baggage Coffee, because we all have some baggage in life. Some need therapy, some need coffee, up to you. But I would highly recommend it. I thought it was fantastic. And that's enough for me. So wherever you are, I am putting this out on a weekend. So I hope you enjoy your weekend. And I hope you have fun, whatever you do. Me, I am going to go to sleep. I'm not really going to do much, but that's the life I enjoy. So cheerio for now.